Hi everyone, welcome to English Digest.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Angeline, and we're so glad you could join us today. So, we're going to talk about how to write an essay or a story based on a series of pictures that are given to you. Okay, so before we begin though, I'd like to ask if you've ever worked at a restaurant, Sam?
No, but I always feel like I could be a good waiter.
You think so?
Yeah, I always feel like because I'm always smiling.
That's true,
Yeah,
yes.
I'm not afraid of talking to people.
Yeah, you're outgoing.
And, I'm good at covering like mistakes.
Are you? Is that what servers do all the time? They're always covering mistakes?
It's like like our pictures. There's some bad things happen, right?
Oh, I
and
see.
I'm good at handling this type of thing.
Oh, customer complaints and stuff
Yes,
like that?
yes,
okay.
yes.
But you know what? One of the things that I think you need to be able to be a good server is you need to have good memory.
Ah, yes. That's very true.
Do you think you have good memory?
Yeah, I do think I have good memory, but it's a totally different thing when you're actually a server, right?
Yeah.
It's never the same. Like you picture it in your head and it's never the same in reality. So, but I still feel like I have what it takes to be a good server.
I feel like maybe we should test Sam. What do you guys think? Maybe I should give him a list of things that I want, and then at the end of the episode, I'll see if he can remember. If he can remember what things I ordered.
Yeah.
Do you want to try it?
Yeah,
do you want to take on this challenge?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
What do you want to have today?
Okay, so I'd like 1 cup of milk tea.
A cup of milk tea? Yes.
Okay, no ice.
No ice? Yes.
Yeah, but I want it to be cold.
Cold? Okay.
Okay, but
no problem.
ice.
Yes.
Okay, so 1 cup of milk tea. And I want a chicken salad.
A chicken salad?
Okay.
There's pressure.
But hold the dressing. Okay, I want the dressing on the side.
Okay, hold the dressing. Yes. Chicken salad, hold the dressing. Yeah.
Okay. And I'd also like 3 pieces of garlic bread.
Garlic bread, 3 pieces. Okay.
Yeah. And 1 chicken Alfredo fettuccine.
What is that?
I guess you just need to remember the name.
Okay.
Chicken Alfredo fettuccine.
Chicken Alfredo fettuccine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And maybe 1 slice of, well, not slice, but like 1 tiramisu.
1 tiramisu.
Yeah, to finish up my meal.
Okay, so dessert, drinks, and salad, and your main course, chicken something fettuccine. Yeah.
Whoa, it sounds like we're off to a good start.
Okay, we will see.
Okay, let's see how much Sam will remember and whether or not he passes the test to be a good server. Okay, so as we mentioned earlier, today's picture writing is based on a series of pictures. Okay, you guys probably have your magazine open and you guys can see the pictures, right? So along with a picture, you will also be given a short written prompt to guide your writing. So before we begin any writing exercise, we must read the instructions carefully so you know what you have to do. Now, let's take a look at the written prompt for our essay today.
OK， 马上来看一下今天我们的写作提示了。他说呢，请仔细观察下方3幅连环图片的内容，并想象呢第4幅图片可能的发展。我们呢要写出一篇120字以上的文章，文章呢需涵盖连环图片的内容，并且要有完整的结局哦。
Okay, so in this writing exercise, we have to write a 120-word essay based on a series of pictures, okay? So it's important to pay close attention to how the pictures relate to one another because the essay must touch on the content of all 3 pictures, right? We have to talk about all 3 pictures, plus actually another additional picture with big question mark.
Yes.
Okay, so you will also have to come up with an ending for the story.
Yes.
So the first thing you should probably do is look carefully at the images, okay? Take notes of what you see and important points that can be interpreted from the image while keeping the 5 W's in mind, okay? So who is in the picture? What is happening? Where is the picture set? When do you think the picture is set, okay? And why might what is happening in the picture be happening?
好，所以呢，看图写作要做的呢，就是要仔细观察图片，并且呢描述图片里面发生的所有事情 OK， 所有的细节都要讲到。既然呢我们是要描述一个事件自然呢它就是一篇叙述文，它就是讲一个故事了。 OK， 叙述文写的好不好，关键呢就在于你有没有把图片里面的细节完整的描述出来了，并且呢我们要给它一个好的架构，起承转合，把这个故事给讲清楚了。 OK， 那一开始呢我们要看图写作，你可能有一点茫然，不过不要担心刚刚 Angeline 老师呢就已经提醒大家，可以呢先问自己5个 W， OK， 我们再加上一个 How， OK， 一个 H， 这些疑问词呢也就是我们说的时事人地物跟一个如何OK， 比方说事情什么时候发生，事情在哪里发生，是什么事情发生，跟什么人有关，以及它如何发生的 OK， 我们呢可以先把故事背景设定好，后面的写作呢我们就是水到渠成咯。
So let's try to answer the 5 W's with these pictures, okay? So let's take a look at the first picture. We see a young server.
Yes.
He's taking an elderly man's order,
Yeah.
right? And we can see that they are in a restaurant,
yes.
right? And what else do we notice from this picture?
The first picture, there's not much people in the restaurant at this moment, so I guess the customer arrived early?
Yeah, so maybe it's before lunchtime or before dinner time,
Yes.
possibly, okay? Now let's take a look at the second picture. So the restaurant looks busier, right?
Yes.
A boy is chasing a girl in the restaurant. The server is now carrying a tray with a plate of food and a drink on it. We see a woman and a man seated at a table nearby. What are they doing?
Yeah, the man is reading and the woman was using her phone. They might be the parents. If so, that's really bad. It's really dangerous for kids to run around while the waiters are serving hot meals.
Yeah.
They could get hurt or get others hurt. Yeah, that's very irresponsible for the parents to do such things.
That's true, yeah. And you know, these type of parents, usually what happens is that they'll be the ones who will blame the server or the restaurant. You know, if the kids get burned or like they trip and fall, they'll always blame the restaurant. Yeah. Okay, and what do you know? In the third picture, we see that the tray is on the floor and its contents scattered all over the floor. It looks like the server has a look of shock on his face. Maybe he's a little bit embarrassed.
Yep.
He might also be scared. I don't know. We can see the boy is still running, though. And he has a smile on his face. Okay, what else?
I noticed that the man and the woman behind noticed what's happening and what would they do? That's the part we have to think about and will lead us to the end of this story.
Yeah, okay. So the 5 W's may not be obvious in the picture. So you'll have to use your imagination to answer some of them. It's also important to pay attention to the subjects in the picture and focus on their faces and the position of hands as they represent emotions and actions, okay? Like if somebody has their arms crossed, you know, maybe they could be, I mean, if you look at their face and they look unhappy, then probably mean that they're angry, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so those are important, looking at emotions and looking at where their hands are placed. Everyone's interpretation of these pictures may be different, okay? But it's important to ensure your claims can be backed up by the pictures. Okay, so writing prompts based on pictures are generally narrative essays, right? This kind of essay tells a story. It describes an event or a person. Effective narrative essays give vivid details of what is going on to capture and maintain the attention of the reader.
好，如同呢我们前面说过的，叙述文的关键呢，就在文章里面的人事物的所有细节，它们之间的密切关系。OK， 你要生动的描述这些细节，以及我们刚刚讲过要注意这个文章的架构哦。除了呢前面描述的好，最后呢我们当然也要给它一个有力的结论，一个很好的结局。
Okay, so any form of good writing must have an introduction to introduce the event that you are writing about, right? Your writing should also have a body. This is where you will get the details about the event or process that is being described. And the conclusion is where you provide the ending of the story. For this picture writing, the conclusion is open for interpretation. So you will have to come up with an ending to the story.
好，所以呢，今天我们这个看图写作，我常说呢，这个看图写作最简单了，因为呢不用想，都已经画出来给你，
That's
你
true.
只要把这个图片上面的东西讲完就好。那文章主体的部分呢很简单，我们就照着这个图片把所有的细节描述出来就可以了。但是呢，最后一张图我们这个问号了，你就要好好的想一想，怎么样呢才能把这个故事收尾收得漂亮了。
So this might be the approach you might want to take with this essay, okay? So first you'll want to set the stage for the story.
Yes.
Using the first picture, describe what is going on. Where are the people? Who are the people? What is going on?
OK， 看着图片要怎么写出来？刚刚呢，我们已经提醒过大家，就问一问自己呢，这个文章里面发生的时事人地物，哪里发生，怎么发生，发生在什么时候？那呢，第一张图片呢，其实就是一个很好的机会哦，你呢就可以在这个图片里面呢讲完这个故事的背景，先设定好我们今天故事发生在哪里，发生在什么时间 OK， 所以第一张图片的描述呢很重要，它是这个文章的开头，它呢可以一开始就让读者知道我们今天设定的故事背景是怎么样，在第一张图片我们就可以把它写出来。
Okay, so for the subsequent pictures, you'll want to describe what is going on to develop the story, okay? Be sure to make associations between the pictures to lead to the plot. You'll want to make smooth transitions between the pictures. For example, you'll notice in the first picture, there is only one customer, okay?
Yes.
And in the second picture, 2 tables are occupied. How do we explain what happened in between the first picture and the second picture?
好，既然是连环图片呢，4张图片必然要有关系哦，所以想一想怎么样把它们串起来也是一个重点咯。 比方说呢，第一张图片只有一个人，后面一张图出现了很多人，这之间要怎么连结呢？I guess it could be like I said, the man arrived earlier than all the other customers, or maybe this elderly man is the owner of this restaurant and the waiter is his grandson and is working part-time here.
That is true. Yeah, that could be a possibility. Yeah. Or maybe, just maybe, we're actually looking at a different angle of the restaurant.
Yeah.
Maybe no time has passed and the man is sitting all the way in the little corner, maybe in a quiet corner.
Yeah.
And then the parents or the couple and the children,
they
get to sit
corner.
in a noisy corner for the noisy people. Okay. And then we need to decide on a conclusion for the story. Okay. So ensure it connects to the rest of the story. You can have a surprise ending, but it must be reasonable. Okay. And it has to correlate to the content in the other picture. So I can't be like, oh, so after the guy dropped the tray on the floor, a tiger came in and ate all the customers. Like, that is ridiculous, right? Let's not make it too ridiculous.
好，刚刚说过呢，结论很重要，要想办法把所有图片连接在一起，并且给它一个结尾。那这个结尾呢，在写作的时候，尽量呢是让它合理啦。比方说，这个餐盘掉到地上，然后忽然有老虎进来把所有人都吃了，这个就有点太奇怪、太猎奇了。所以呢，我们考试里面呢，还是尽量让它合理就好。
Okay, and as with any other writing exercise, grammar and punctuation is important, and so is clarity, okay? So complex words and syntax can make the writing difficult to understand. If the idea can be conveyed in few words and simple sentences, do that, okay? Don't complicate things.
OK， 说故事的重点不在于你用了多艰深的字或是多高超的文法技巧哦，重点呢是在于要把故事说清楚。所以呢，在写作的时候呢，我们就挑你会的字，挑你熟悉的文法，然后呢，我们要记得善用连接词，你的故事呢就可以说得很精彩咯。
And it might be easier for you to name the characters in the picture to make it easier to talk about.
Yes, that's very important.
We can't be like the first man and then the second man and then the third man and the fourth boy. It would be so confusing, right?
Yeah. 没错，开始练习之前呢，最后要提醒大家了，我们故事里的角色呢不限人称，你也可以是第一人称，比方说你当这个服务生，当这个老人，或是当这个父母，你可以用第一人称来写作这个故事，或是呢，我们用第三人称的角度来写作，你呢就可以把这些角色命名，这样子呢就不会一直比方说第一个人、第二个人，或是 he 啊 she 啊 OK， 到最后呢你就搞不清楚到底谁是谁咯，所以呢把大家这个角色命名，这个呢是很好的做法。
That's true. Sam made a good point. We can choose one of the characters to be the first person, right? So we can speak in the perspective of the waiter, or the server, or we can speak in the perspective of the elderly man.
Yeah,
that's possible too. Okay, so now that we have a general idea of what we're going to write about, it's time to organize your ideas into an outline. So an outline is a very important part of the writing process, as it's the foundation of your essay. Outlines can help you organize the paragraphs into an order that makes sense, and it also ensures each paragraph is fully developed, okay?
好，马上呢，我们要来看一下我们的范例文章，也来练习一下哦。那跟所有的写作一样，写作之前记得要先拟出大纲，有了大纲呢，后面的写作才会更轻松哦。
So let's take a look at the sample outline provided in the magazine, okay? So the first topic sentence is Stuart got to his job as a restaurant server. So this person is writing in the third person. She or he has named the server Stuart, okay? And then it says he took the order of his first customer. Soon the restaurant was filled with people. And then Stuart took more orders and went to fetch the first man's food. So the first man being the first customer, the elderly man.
好，所以呢，范例文章1里面的作者就是我们刚刚讲这个第三人称的用法，他就帮这个服务生取了名字。那呢，这篇文章的主角 Stuart 就是我们的服务生呢，他开始在这个餐厅上班了。那首先来的第一位客人呢，就是我们图中的这位老人了，他就点了餐。之后的第二张图呢，开始忙起来，忙一阵子之后呢，他又回头去准备这位老人的餐点。接下来我们后面的图片发生了什么事情呢
？Okay, and our second topic sentence, when Stuart carried the tray out to the table, two children bumped into him.
Oh,
okay.
no.
Yeah, so if two children bump into you, likely the food will crash to the floor, right? It says the food crashed to the floor. The children said sorry and offered to help clean up the mess. And Stewart told them to be more careful.
OK， 好，所以呢，故事的转折就在这边了。他要上餐的时候，被这2个小朋友给撞到了，东西洒了一地。小朋友们呢，觉得怎么样？很抱歉的，想要帮忙，我可以帮你整理吗？那 Stewart 他呢也人很好，就跟他们说，不用，没关系哦。但是呢，你们下次不可以这样子，很危险哦。
Okay, and for our conclusion, it says Stewart told the man to wait longer for his meal. Okay, so that's because now the man's meal is all over the floor, so he has to get the kitchen to prepare a new one for him. So unfortunately, the kids didn't have any consequences, and the poor elderly man now has to wait even longer for his meal. These kids.
好，所以呢，最后我们这个作者下的结论呢，他就说 Stewart 就去跟这个第一位顾客，也就是我们第一张图里面这位先生呢，就跟他赔不是，跟他说不好意思哦，东西被打翻了，要晚点上哦。
Okay, so from this outline, we can see our story begin to take shape.
Yes.
So we can go back and look at whether we've included everything so our story makes sense, okay? We can also see where we need to cut information or find places where more information is needed.
好，写大纲的好处呢，就是你还有机会回头看看图片，看看呢有没有什么东西被遗漏掉啦，哪一个部分太啰嗦，哪一个部分又需要更多内容等等哦。这个大纲呢，可以在你真的开始写作之前呢，把整个架构、整个文章的架构修改得更好。更完整，所以记得再次提醒大家，写作之前呢，我们一定要先拟定大纲。
Okay, and now that you have your introduction, conclusion, and outline, writing the body should be fairly straightforward, okay? All you need to do is expand the ideas in your outline. This involves making paragraphs that not only flow from sentence to sentence within the paragraphs, but also between each paragraph. You can do this with the help of transitions.OK,
所以呢，最后我们看到这个大纲已经拟定好了，我们就可以开始写作了。那呢，我们其实大纲完成之后，你只要再补充一些细节，加入一些转折语气，比方说连接词啊，或是句子跟句子中间的转折的语气的这些片语，你的文章呢就可以完成，故事呢就可以讲得很清楚，讲得很好咯。
Okay, so before we take a look at our writing samples, let's just take a quick break.Writing Sample 1. Stewart got to his job as a restaurant server a few minutes before the lunch hour. He was relieved to see that the restaurant wasn't too crowded yet, and took the order of his first customer, an elderly gentleman. The man ordered seafood spaghetti along with an iced tea. Stewart took his order back to the kitchen just as he noticed some other customers arriving. Before Stewart knew it, the restaurant was filled with people. He quickly took some orders,and went to fetch the elderly man's spaghetti and tea. When he carried the tray out to the table, 2 children playing tag in the restaurant bumped into him, sending the food crashing to the floor. As Stewart started cleaning the mess, the children came up looking sad and embarrassed. "We're really sorry," they said. "Can we help you clean up?" "Don't worry," Stewart told them. "Just be more careful." They nodded, and Stewart apologized to the old man,that he might have to wait a bit longer for his meal. So how do you guys like the ending of this story? The 2 children apologized and offered to help the server clean up, which is good, right?
Yep.
But unfortunately, the elderly man has to wait for the chef to prepare his meal again.
If I were the elderly man, I would feel very angry.
Yeah, that's true. But sometimes when it comes to children and when children make mistakes, because they're so young, you can't really blame them, right?
Yes.
So the writer set this story during lunch hour, okay? So that's when this is happening. Lunch hour is the period in the middle of the day when people stop work, usually for 1 hour, in order to have a meal. Okay, so lunch hour does not necessarily mean it's noon.Okay, some people take their lunch hours at different times of the day so the company can remain in operation. Take people who work in retail, for example. Shops are open during lunchtime, so employees have to take turns to mind the customers, right?
Yes, if it's lunch hour, I would be even angrier. Yeah, because like you said, the break is very short, the time is limited, and I have to wait longer for my meal.
You might even have to take it to go and then eat it in the office, right?
No, it's the worst.
Yeah, that's true. But I guess you really have no choice unless you want him to pick it off the floor and serve it to you. Okay. And, well, instead of using the word waiter or waitress, which is kind of old-fashioned, you can actually use the word server, okay? So a server is a person who serves you food at a restaurant. I like the word server because it doesn't distinguish between male or female, okay? However, it's important to note that we don't actually call people server when we want to get their attention, okay? So if we want to flag down a server, we won't be like, hey, server, I want you to take my order. Instead, you should raise your hand to grab your server's attention, okay? Yeah. And you can also learn your server's name. They're usually wearing a name tag, okay? And then you can say, excuse me, Ashley. And then...
Something I found very interesting.
Yeah.
Because when I was in China, people normally call the server 服务员.
Okay.
Yeah, which means server. And it's okay for them to call them server because they don't find it rude. Yeah, it's what they do. They'll go like 服务员, 服务员. Yelling. And on the other hand, in the United States, it's like you said, they have name tags and tend to be very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes too nice for me.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it has something to do with the tip culture.
I see.
Yeah, and I was there for a show, for an exhibition, and I was on duty at our booth. And I was wearing a badge and introducing our products to people. Yeah, and they tend to look at my badge first and then say like, okay, Sam, could you please tell me something?
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Sam. I really appreciate it. Something like that. It's really weird for me.
Yeah.
It's really weird because I'd go like, do I know you? Are we close? Why are you calling me by my name? It's just not something I'm used to. So it's something I would never get used to, I guess. Yeah, it's really interesting to see one thing happen in different cultures.
Yeah. Okay, that's really interesting. So, you know, when you want to grab your server's attention in North America, you want to raise your hand. But you don't want to yell out, you know, excuse me right away because it sounds like you're very demanding. You know, kind of just wave your hand and see if he or she notices you.
Yes.
But if they're too busy, then you can say their name. Yeah. Okay. We also saw the phrase before somebody knows it. Okay. It's a good phrase to make note of. It means very quickly or soon. So if your friend calls to ask where you are, you can say, I'll be there before you know it.
OK， 在你知道以前什么事情就已经发生了，就表示呢这个事情发生的非常快速哦。比方说呢，你朋友打给你问说，诶，你到哪里啦 ？OK， 在你知道以前我就会到了，表示呢马上的意思哦。
Okay, so have you guys played tag before? Okay, it's a game in which someone is it and chases the other players, trying to touch one of them who then becomes it.
Okay, so it's like what we say 鬼抓人。
Oh,
but
is that
do you
what it's
have
called?
to like really tag something on people or you just pat them like
just touch their shoulder,
their
you know,
shoulder.
don't slap them. Touch their shoulder or their arm. Yeah, gently touch them. Yeah, that's called tag, okay? So in our story, the two children were playing tag. Okay, so it looks like the boy was probably it, which is the person who needs to go and tag the girl. Yeah. Okay, so now let's take a look at writing sample 2, okay? Writing sample 2. It was still early when Emil arrived at the restaurant, so he was the only customer. After ordering the daily special, seafood pasta, and a glass of tea, Emil settled in to wait for his dinner. Meanwhile, the restaurant started to fill up with hungry diners, including a family with 2 young children. The children's parents, however, allowed them to play and run around in the restaurant, even while a waiter was carrying hot food to Emil's table. Not paying attention to their surroundings, the children ran straight into the waiter. The tray he was carrying, which held Emil's pasta and tea, crashed to the floor, surprising the diners. The children hardly noticed, though, and continued to run around the restaurant. While Emil and some other diners helped the waiter clean up the mess, the children's parents didn't even look up from their smartphones. Thus, after the mess was cleared, the restaurant manager presented them with the bill for Emil's meal and asked them to collect their children and leave. Okay, so what do you think about this ending, Sam?
I think it's good. Yeah, people should take the responsibility. Yeah. On the other hand, I think people should have more empathy to parents who have little kids.
Yeah.
Parenting is hard, so instead of judging them or telling them what to do, people should be more patient. I believe these parents are just like us, most of them would never want to make such thing in public.
That's true, yeah.
Yes, there are parents who spoil their children. That's very irresponsible, but I believe that's just tiny minority. So we should have more empathy to these parents. They are great. They are parents.
Oh my goodness, Sam is so great. Yeah, that's true. I mean, we only see one side of the story, so we don't really know. Maybe they're working.
Yeah, maybe.
Or maybe it's not even their kids. That also could be a possibility, right?
Yes.
So let's take a look at some of the useful phrases in this writing sample. The word pasta might cause some confusion for some of you, and some might use it interchangeably with spaghetti, right? However, pasta refers to the Italian food made from flour, water, and sometimes eggs that is formed into different shapes and usually served with a sauce. So spaghetti is a type of pasta, as is fettuccine, which I mentioned earlier.
Fettuccine,
yes, that is a type of pasta.
OK, pasta 呢就是意大利面的统称哦，但是呢，意大利面我们知道有百百种，它可能有天使面、贝壳面、笔管面，然后有加不同的酱。那所谓的 spaghetti 呢，其实它只是其中的一种，指的呢就是我们这个最常见的这种直面，就是 spaghetti.
And we also saw the phrase settle in. It's one you should be familiar with, actually, because it means to make yourself more comfortable in a place because you are going to stay there for a long time. So settle in also has a slightly different meaning when it's used in the context of a new situation, a home or job or school. It means to begin to feel happy or relaxed, okay? So here in an example sentence, I enjoyed university life once I had settled in. Or once we've settled in, we'll have you over for dinner.
Settle in 呢，就是表示安顿好了。OK， 可能是你的新工作、你的新学校。比方说呢，我们刚刚这个例句I enjoyed university life once I had settled in。当我安顿好了之后，习惯新生活之后，我在大学里面呢就过得很愉快了。
Okay, so let me see. Do you guys know the word fubbing?
Fubbing?
Okay, yeah. Fubbing, okay? It might sound like a bad word, but it's not. It comes from the word snub, which means to insult somebody by not giving them any attention or treating them as if they are not important, okay? So fubbing is the habit of snubbing someone in favor of a mobile phone. Okay, so we can say these parents are fubbing, right? They are completely oblivious to what their children are doing.
Okay.
So we can say they're fubbing because they don't even know that their kids are running around and causing all this disaster and trouble. Yeah. Okay, so Waiter Sam.
Yes,
Server
your order
Sam. Let's see if you remember
ready.
my order before we end the lesson.
We have one iced milk tea without ice, but it's cold.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
we want 3 pieces of garlic bread.
Okay.
Chicken salad with dressing aside. You hold the dressing.
Right.
Yeah, and chicken something chini. The pasta we're talking about.
Okay. I'll give you that one because it is kind of hard to pronounce.
Yeah, and the tiramisu.
Oh, yeah, the tiramisu.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. I think everyone should give him a round of applause because, honestly, I almost didn't even remember all of those items that I ordered because I ordered quite a lot. But yeah, oh my gosh. Okay, guys. Thank you guys for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed our lesson. This is Angeline.
This is Sam.
Goodbye.
Bye.